Hello, right now I want to talk about the suggestion engine, or as I like to call it, the nagging grandma. So the suggestion engine is going to provide us with a lot of suggestions that is going to help us be operationally compliant. Now, the first thing the suggestion engine is going to help us do in order to be operationally be compliant is to be properly documented, right? So for example, I have a whistleblowing process and I can click that, which brings me to the whistleblowing process, but it was already open. I can maybe take another one. That tells me that I need to do a TIA or a transfer impact assessment for this, because in the process data lifecycle, somewhere I said we are transferring data outside of the EEA, right? Now, because of that, it's telling me I have to go and do a TIA. So if I do that, I'll just press create now. What it does is it goes there, it already fills in all of the information that it understands based on the processing activity, right, that I'm coming from. So now I can go through my TIA, and if I were to say create, it would be happy, right? Now, of course, during my TIA, I might discover some risks. Now, if I create some risks, I'm just going to show you real quick what that might look like. At some point, I'm going to say, how am I going to treat this risk? Now, if I say, look, I want to actually mitigate this risk, right, then the suggestion engine is going to come talk about creating certain mitigations. So if I say there are no mitigations, I want to mitigate it, but the mitigations aren't there yet, then it's going to complain and say, maybe you should add some mitigations. Now, if I add those mitigations, but unfortunately, I don't have a task for implementing it and the mitigation status is not implemented yet, it's going to tell me, hey, please make a task for that mitigation. And now, of course, if I've made a task for that mitigation, you will be able to find it in the My Tasks or in the task board, which you can use to follow up on everything that's going on that still has implementation necessities. You can also set a status and a deadline for these things, making it very easy for you to follow up exactly what needs to be implemented and by who, because you can then assign this to certain people, etc., etc. Now, this is going to find certain gaps that you have in your processing activities or anything else that we have rules for, and it's going to make you aware of them and push you to be fully operationally compliant. Now, if you have a look at this, some of this might not be super relevant to you, so we've got some suggestion preferences where you can say, look, Leah, that's really important for me, please alert, or I could make a suggestion, I could disable it, or a recommendation. So basically, we are extending this list of things that we will alert you for, but it's really helping you drive that operational compliance and making sure that you have no gaps in your definitions.